it. You can put it on the board. Yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting moment of the sports circus. I'm Tyrone Poole, two-time Super Bowl champion and American Ninja Warrior. So if you ever want to go see how I did on the show, just go into the archives of the American Ninja Warrior, and you'll see me make it to the finals. I did make it to the finals now. I'm an athlete, people. All right. But this segment is brought to you by Legal Shield, providing legal protections and a peace of mind. Legal Shield can help you with traffic tickets, texting and driving, DUI court appearances, estate planning, even contracts that you don't understand, plus a whole lot more. For more information, just contact Legal Shield at 213-245-1305. That's 213-245-1305. Or you can visit them online for more information at nocourt.us. Again, that is nocourt.us. We also want to say what's up to everybody listening to us from Hawaii to California, KCAA, all those in Magic 97.9 in Las Vegas, Corpus Christi, and also here where I'm broadcasting live in Metro Atlanta, WDJY, and we got so many people that are listening to us, many more cities, Fox, CBS, and all of our sports affiliates listening in. Also, we want to thank those who are watching us on the sportscircus.com, AMP TV, Hotel TV, all 650,000 of you. We want to welcome you across America, and also those streaming on Facebook and YouTube at AAMP.TV. Well, everybody, I got the honor, I'm telling you, I got the honor of interviewing. I'm just going to put it to you like this. Hollywood has come to the circus. Hollywood has come to the circus, baby. I told you, we do it big here in the circus. We do it big up on the big top, but no other than Hollywood, Thomas Hollywood Henderson, people. The circus has come to town. How you doing, Mr. Hollywood Henderson? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. This virus has, turned our lives upside down, but I'm hanging.
Oh man, that's good. That's good. Again, it's great to have you on the sports circus. We're so honored. And just to let people know, again, now I was a first round draft pick coming from HBCU. You were a first round draft pick in 75, first round draft pick 18th overall. And to me, that's even bigger because back then I'm like, you had so many things and obstacles that were in your way, and still you became a first round draft pick overall to those Dallas Cowboys. So I'm like, that's just an honor. But to kick this thing off, we got to know here at the circus, how did you get the name Hollywood?
Well, after my third year with the Dallas Cowboys, this branding idea came to me that the Cowboys were about selling the Cowboys. And then they sold certain players. We were in New York one time. I remember I was in the elevator, and they were talking to the general manager. And the two guys from the New York Times and one from the Daily News said, "Who do you want us to talk to today?" And, Gil Brandt said, Charlie Waters and Roger Staubach or something like that. And I thought to myself, oh, that's how this works. So the Cowboys control who talks to the media and who the media. So I decided, after Super Bowl 10, I was dating Anita Pointer. I went to the Grammy Awards. I went to the Playboy Mansion. I was hanging with Dennis Edwards and Richard Pryor and Marvin Gaye. And so I started buying fur coats and riding around in limousines. And I think it was Robert Newhouse who finally just looked at me and says, "So now you're Hollywood." And that's how that all started. But it was all started out of self-promotion.
Yeah, and when you say Anita Pointer, that's from the Pointer Sisters, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Just let everybody know, because I'm like, that was a great singing group. So just let everybody know, hey, Hollywood. That's why we call him Hollywood, baby. That's why he's Hollywood. Told you, Hollywood has come to the circus. Now, when we talk about celebrations, okay, we see guys, all types of players, when they get into their end zone, they doing some type of celebration. Now, you claim that you introduced the crossbar slam dunk celebration in the NFL. All right, after you scored. Tell us about that. Now, you got to tell us about that.
Well, it was my rookie year, 1975. We're playing the St. Louis Cardinals, and we had been working on a reverse. And Mike Ditka called the play, opening kickoff reverse. And so a defensive back from Boise State named Raleigh Woolsey caught the ball and fumbled it, which gave him a lot more attention. And I came around and got the ball, and I went 97 yards. And when I crossed the goal line, I hadn't thought about this. I hadn't planned it, but I just thought I got to do something. And so I ran over to the goalpost and dunked it. And then it was Tampa Bay in 77. I went 79 yards on an interception, and I dunked it. Then the Rams in 78 at the Coliseum, I went 68 yards with a pick, and I finger rolled it because the grass was wet. But yeah, at 75, I was the first to dunk it over the goalpost.
Oh man, I'm looking at your history, I'm looking at your background and everything. I'm like, man, I could see the athletic ability. I saw it just reading, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I would have been fascinated just to see you do that. But you can take me back to my rookie year in Carolina. The Panthers was their inaugural season in 1995, and we would play our games at Clemson University, and we practiced in Walford, South Carolina. So we're at practice, and I picked off a pass as well. I picked it off, and I ran. And in practice, you're not going to dance, whatever. So I did like you. I just took the ball and I jumped up and dunked it over the actual goalpost, the crossbar. And just so happened, the photographer for the reporters actually took that picture where he caught me elevated, and the ball is actually, you see me dunking the ball. I'm like off the ground. I'm only like 5'9", but I got off the ground to where I'm like, whoa. When I saw that picture, I was like, whoa. It's like the song, whoa. But again, man, I know you athletic, and I just reading up about you, but we both, again, have something in common. We had an HBCU effect in common. I attended Fort Valley State University, which is in Georgia. You attended Langston University, which is a public university in Langston, Oklahoma. And it's the only historical black college in that state, right?
Yes.
And you, not only we both played football and ran track. So I want to talk about this track and field because everybody know you from your football, but I'm pretty sure a very few know about your track and field. Now you ran the 100 meters. Now they got you down at 9.5, but I believe that's head time. And even if you add 0.9 to it, which that's what they say you go from, to transfer to today's times. Still, that's a 10.4, man. I'm like, that is still smoking. I ran like a 10.31 myself, and that's smoking. But you did the 100 meters and the triple jump, which was 49 feet, man. I'm like, Hollywood, man, you had skills, man. You had skills.
I had hops, but I have to tell you how I ran my fastest 100 yards. There was not meters yet. So we were running. So I won the Oklahoma Collegiate Conference with a 9.6, and I won the state. And so I was the only track guy that had got the opportunity to go to Kansas for the Kansas relays. And I ran two preliminaries. I ran 9.6 both times, and I won my heats. So I made the finals. So this is not the greatest story I'm ever going to tell you, but it's the fastest I ever ran. Kansas relays, I'm in lane 9-lane track.
Yeah.
A couple of guys named Gene and Joe Pouncey were in the race. Okay, the winning time was 9.2. I came in 9th place with a 9.5.
Wow.
That was but my coach, who just thought I was crazy, we were riding back to Oklahoma from Kansas, and we were in the car, and he said, "You know what, Thomas?" He said, 10 more yards, you'd have got them all. He said, your top end was kicking in. So I don't know. I probably could have ran a 10.3, 10.2 maybe, because of my top end. I got faster as I would go. So at 100 yards, I was still gaining on the group. So, yeah, God blessed me with speed and quickness and zero fear.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to come back because I got to ask you a question about how football and track might have contributed to you getting drafted. So for all those tuning in, stay tuned for some more Sports Circus. We got Hollywood at the circus. I'll see you when we come back.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
My favorite one had to do with the Green Bay Packers. And I love the fact that they dealt off Ty Montgomery because of a blown assignment. Green Bay isn't Green Bay unless they have a good running game. Then they can win 10 Super Bowls. The fact is, you don't have a running game. You've got 70% passing, and that's not where Aaron Rodgers needs to be. He needs to be in a position where he's got a running game to offset the passing game and so forth. I like the move. Green Bay didn't have a running game anyway, so all they're doing is saying, we're going to get rid of you because you don't follow instructions.
Well, he made one of the most boneheaded plays I've ever seen. There's 2 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock. They traded him on Tuesday.
They should have cut him on Sunday night.
He shouldn't have been on the plane back to Green Bay.
Right, they should have made him walk back to Green Bay.
No, it was a terrible play. Now, he's not a stupid guy. He went to Stanford. Really? He's not a dumb guy.
He's not a dumb guy, but he doesn't follow instructions.
He made a terrible play.
The fact is he didn't follow instructions. And you say he's not a dumb guy. His own agenda he put ahead of his team.
I agree.
Thus, he is a dumb guy. Right or wrong?
Wrong. He just got selfish. You're not going to convince me that a guy from Stanford's a dum-dum.
No!
Yeah, this is Sidney Justin from the Miracles.
So you heard yesterday's show at Roy Firestone. Didn't you hear a little clip about him going into the office where Smokey was at? That was really good material, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really funny, man.
Yeah, and then you heard him.
I thought it was hilarious. It was cool, though. It was cool. Really cool story, man. I enjoyed listening to that.
Right, and then he gave a couple of bars. Can you give us a couple of more from Ooh Baby Baby? And let's see if you could do it better than Roy Firestone. Come on, man!
All right, you know what? Why not? I did you wrong. My heart went out to play, but in the game I lost you. What a price to pay. Hey, I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. How's that, man?
That's
Is that okay? Is that good enough?
That's incredible.
That's fantastic.
You know why? Because that's what you do. You're in the incredible business, Sid. That's awesome. Yes. Only on the Sports Circus. You're going to get sports. You get music.
You're watching the Sports Circus, and I am Brian Erlacher.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. This segment is brought to you in part by Kelly Vegas, helping people create and host their very own radio, TV, multimedia talk show. Kelly Vegas can help you with everything, getting out of hours and hours of sitting in traffic every day. Kelly Vegas can help you host your very own talk show in your very own studio. For more information, call Kelly Vegas at 949-445-1119 or visit them online at www.kellyvegas.com. Again, we want to welcome all those listening to us in New England, the greater Boston area, all those listen to us on NBC, News Radio, Westwood One, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and again, all of the cities across this great country, those watching and listening to us on Fox, CBS, NBC, all of our sports affiliates. Again, people, Hollywood has come to town. We have Mr. Thomas Hollywood Henderson joining us today. And Hollywood, when we left, and we went into break, we were talking about how your track times, which they were just phenomenal. But I want to ask you, do you believe track, along with football, helped you to become that first round draft pick by the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, they didn't have the combines back in 74, 75. So when scouts would come to Langston, they'd come in single. One guy would come and say, I'm representing the Cowboys, the Rams, the New York Giants. And so they would mark off the 40 yards. And we didn't have a track at Langston, so I was running on grass. And I remember the first time I ran a 40. I never knew what a 40 meant, but I knew it was important because the NFL guy was there to see how fast I was. So after he measured my height and put my heels on the floor against the wall and, putting a hard ruler across the crown of my head, I was always somewhere between 6'2" and 3/4 and 6'3", somewhere right in there. And so I remember the first time I ran a 40, I really got out very well, low, pulling, and running, and I blew by the guy, and he timed me, and he kept looking at his watch, and he kept looking at his watch, and he started shaking the watch like it was going to go away, and he said, must be something wrong with my watch, I said, what you got there? He said, it says 4-4, but I said, well, my leg is tight. I'm gonna have to go to the dorm now, dog. My leg is tight. I don't want to pull a muscle. So that's all you're going to get out of me today. I did that to like several scouts. I ran 4-4, 4-5, 4-4, 4-5. And, then they came out there in 3s and 4s to see me. Mm-hmm. One at the start and 2 at the finish. And again, if I got a good time, I wasn't running anymore. And so, they would say, can you give us one more? No, I'm not going to give you one more. The time is what it is. So speed, size, I was about 220, wow. I'm nearly 6'3". And so I was, when the computer was looking for a linebacker, I hit all the bases in those computerized scouting things that the Dallas Cowboys were introducing to scouting in 74, 75.
Yeah, and you hit the nail right on the head. The Cowboys, they were innovative in taking and calculating to try to find that great athlete. But you know what's so amazing when you say the 4-4, 4-5, and I'm pretty sure if I was a betting person, I would bet you had no one to train you, unlike athletes today. They have people to train them how to run, how to jump, all this technique. So that's why I always tell people, athletes of the past, they were straight, natural athletes. The athletes you get today, they're almost like robots. It's almost like they've been built. But the athletes of the past, I'm like, nobody taught them how to have technique. And I believe Jesse Owens, this is just me, my personal opinion. I believe Jesse Owens, if he would have the same training that Usain Bolt has now, the same diet, man, he would run faster than Usain Bolt. I'm like, Jesse was just natural.
Bob Hayes too.
Exactly. So that's why I said when I hear you say you run the 4.4, man, and Bob Hayes, that's one of your teammates. So I'm like, with the Cowboys, I'm like, when I hear you talk about 4.4, 4.5, I'm like, man, I know you probably could have run a 4.3 or 4.2. I'll say even a 4.2 just with technique, but you had the natural skills.
Yeah, and granted, now I'm running. There was no Nike, there was no Adidas. I'm running in low quarter Chuck Taylors. I mean, I didn't have any shoes. I mean, we're in a cow pasture basically at Langston University, so there's no telling. But when you get down to 4.4, 4.5. You don't have to be much faster than that. If I could have knocked a little bit off of that, who knows? But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. And again, when I remember my pro day at Fort Valley, and like you said, the scouts, you said the scout was shaking the clock like, hold on, this time is not right. I got a video that I showed. Actually, it's on my draft clip. The scouts, they all hovered over the 40-yard line, and I come out again. Nobody showed me how to run the 40. I was just straight natural. And when I crossed that finish line, one of the scouts, you just heard him, and you can see him on the video. He's like, phew, and he's shaking his head like looking at his clock. And I ran it on grass. I ran I think it was a 4.35 on grass. So I'm like, unlike all these other big schools, I'm like, you and I, we just had to do what we had to do. We were just straight, natural, talented. I'm like, but, oh, man, it's just awesome. Now, the College Football Hall of Fame, 2018, you were inducted. What did that mean to you to go into the Black College Football Hall of Fame, where there have been guys that have gone on to the NFL that created what we see right now as the National Football League? What does that mean to you to be a part of the College Football Hall of Fame?
It was the greatest honor of my career. Thinking about Grambling and Texas Southern and Mississippi Valley and Alcorn and Tennessee State and, just all of the great players from Southern. And for me to be in a Hall of Fame with Walter Payton and Jerry Rice and Too Tall Jones and Deacon Jones and it just some of the greatest players in NFL history. I made Too Tall laugh last year. Because they moved the Black College Football Hall of Fame to Canton, Ohio, in the same building with the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So I said to Too Tall, I said, "Well, I'm not in the Hall of Fame, but I'm in the kitchen, but I made it to the big house." so I'm in the NFL Hall. I'm in the NFL Hall of Fame. I'm just down the hall.
I know, right? You're just in the other room, but you're in the same building. I feel you on that one there.
Yes.
I feel you on that one. Yeah. And just like you, again, the Black College Football Hall of Fame is a lot of our athletes that have gone to HBCUs that are very qualified. Even myself, I think I'm actually coming up. This is my second time coming up for the HBCU Hall of Fame. So hopefully I'll be able to put my name right beside yours. So you know what? Two Hall of Famers talking to each other today. So again, it's just a blessing. But talking about HBCUs, what did you learn at an HBCU like Langston University that was different than what you think you would have learned if you had attended what today we call the Power Five, the SEC, ACC, Pac-12, Big 10, Big 12 schools? What did you learn at Langston that you're like, hey, you know what? I'm glad I went to Langston because I don't think I would have learned this anywhere else.
I would say this to any athlete, black, brown, yellow, that going to a historically black college you're going to play. You're not going to get lost. If I had the talent to go to Alabama, Oklahoma, Nebraska, UCLA, USC, but nobody was. I almost went to Vietnam. Now you have to realize, 1971, I turned 18 years old, and I had to go down to civil service and register for the draft. But lucky for me, I had flunked a geometry class in my sophomore year. I had to go to summer school to finish high school. And so going to an HBCU was me showing up on a Tuesday and being in the starting lineup on Saturday.
Wow. And we got to talk more about this. And I know we're coming up on the closing of this particular segment, but I know that there's more that you want to say about the HBCU and what you learned in the Vietnam. Like you said, you almost went there. So I know it's a lot of things that people want to learn more about. Thomas Hollywood has come to the circus, Henderson. So for everybody listening and watching, stay tuned, because we got more Hollywood in the building here on the Sports Circus. Stay tuned.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935. Or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-659-7805. 800-659-7805. 800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UppercutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes, are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UppercutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UppercutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average and best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UppercutChops.com or call 702-799-9935. That's 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or make your selection directly at UppercutChops.com.
You're listening to the Sports Circus, and I'm Mike Golick.
Hello and welcome back to the Sports Circus. This segment is brought to you by the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. The Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation believes in reforming, refilling, and restoring the family unit. How do we do it? We restore, refill, and get the family up and going by holding special events like father and son, father and daughter, mother and son, and mother and daughter events. So if you want to learn more about the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation, or if you want to donate, just go to TyronePoole38Foundation.org. Again, that's TyronePoole38Foundation.org. Again, we want to say what's happening, what's up to everybody watching us on AMP TV. We also want to say what's happening to all those listening to us in Las Vegas, Magic 97.9, the city that never sleeps. And also, we want to say hello to those listening to us on Fox, NBC, CBS sports affiliates. Again, people, Hollywood has come to the circus. Hollywood has come to the circus. Mr. Thomas Hollywood Henderson, Super Bowl champion, man, played tremendous years with the Dallas Cowboys, played just phenomenal career at Langston University, and he has a great story. We're going to dive deeper into who he really is, some of his problems that he overcame, and what he's doing today to help those who are present today learn from his mistakes. But I want to ask you, moving into the NFL. Now, again, we have so many similarities. I came from a small school, and the biggest thing that people always ask me, what was the problem? What challenges did you have coming from a small school? And I always tell them it was never my talent. It was the mental of the game. Now, I know Hollywood, when you got to the NFL, being a first-round draft pick, you were expected to play. Anytime you're a first-round draft pick, you're expected to play. And you had to compete with D.D. Lewis at the strong side linebacker. Took you a couple of years, but you ended up getting that starting position. Now, I want to know, why did it take, do you feel, 2 years to get that strong side position?
That is a great question. I thought football was to be played, not studied. So I wasted about 1.5 years because I didn't take the playbook seriously. I didn't study for it. Now, coming out of an HBCU, one of my favorite teachers was Dr. Flash. She taught humanities. So you asked me this question. I'm going to ask myself, what does Thomas Henderson know about the Renaissance? Don Quixote, Canterbury's Tales, Dante's Inferno. So I went through college and got good grades. And matter of fact, 2 years ago, they gave me an honorary doctorate. But my rookie year and my second year was wasted because I didn't buy into this computerized system and knowing Tom Landry's defenses, like I know the back of my hand. And so I really admit that I had all the talent. I was on kickoff return and punt, and I was killing people. The second year, I got into the nickel package where I was covering the best back out of the backfield. But again, I wasn't in the books. And I think that's the mistake. 9 out of 10 guys who don't make it didn't buy into the system or study like it was college. And so that would be the reason. So by the time, Randy White didn't start until his third year either. And he was alternating with Larry Cole and Jethro Pugh. But Landry put me and Randy White up for the strong side linebacker position, and I started studying. I started knowing where I was going. I could cover the tight end all over, completely to the locker room. I could cover him. And Randy didn't look so good. He was big and strong and miraculous, but he just didn't have that finesse and that athleticism to cover a scat back or a good tight end. So I have regrets, but there are a few. if I could do it all over again, I'd act like training camp was college. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. Exactly. And I agree with you. It's that mental that slowed me down. It wasn't my athletic ability, but my athletic ability actually allowed the Carolina Panthers and the other NFL teams to continue to wait for Tyrone Poole to develop. Because sometimes, like Al Davis, the great Al Davis would say, you can always get coaches, but you can't get great players. So my talent kind of kept me in the game. Now, how do you think the NFL game has changed from the years that you played to now?
I don't think much has changed. I think people are faster and stronger and bigger and more powerful. I think the game is, it's not for any boys. This is a man's game today. They took out the running. I like a full back leading a halfback. They're in shotgun most of the time. Passing is people want to see touchdowns and catches, not so much O.J. Simpson or Walter Payton or Jim Brown or Larry Zonka or Mercury Morris. They want to. The game has changed, and of course it has to change with the talent that they have now. But I still love the game. I still buy the NFL package every year, so I can watch whatever game I want. And so I'm still a big fan of the National Football League. I appreciate the opportunity they gave me, and now I'm an old man collecting Social Security and my pension, and still looking at my lottery money and my life is really good. I've been sober for 36 and a half years. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't use nothing. And that's really what has helped the second half of Thomas Henderson's life is my 36 and a half years clean and sober. That's what makes me tick and lets me be a father and a grandfather and a friend and a sponsor. And so I still have some aches and pains. I broke my neck my last game in the National Football League. I was with the Miami Dolphins. I broke C1, the top of the spinal cord. And luckily, I should be a quadriplegic, but I'm not, and I'm grateful for that too.
Yeah. Now, before we dive into some of your personal, I just want one response, one word from you on this question here. Lawrence Taylor, perhaps the greatest player to ever play linebacker position, said that he was inspired to wear 56 because it was your number. How did that make you feel? You heard that?
That was a great honor. I know Lawrence. He says it to me. He'll whisper in my ear, you were the man. He would tell me that you were the man. You were fast. You were big. You were great. Lawrence was more of a defensive end than he was a linebacker. I'm not sure Lawrence could cover the scat back like Terry Metcalf or especially Terry Metcalf. But there were O.J. Simpson and a lot of these scat backs that you had to really be on your A game to cover them with speed and angles. But he ends up being probably the greatest football player, no matter where you put him. You could put him in nose tackle. He's probably the best all-around football player of all time.
Yeah, and anytime someone says that you impacted them, even myself, when somebody say that they were inspired by me, it makes me feel special and it makes me want to even do better. But I appreciate whenever people recognize my game because we are influencing people every day. Now, the last segment, those who are listening and watching on CBS, NBC, Fox affiliates, and those watching on AMP TV, you got to hang around for this next segment, our last segment. This is where we're going to dive into Mr. Henderson's lifestyle as a player and how he rebounded back. He rebounded and he came back, and he's going to have an inspirational story for you guys. But real quickly, if you can, just again, one word. How would you describe that 19? I know you got more than one word, but how could you describe that 1977 season that turned out to be a super year for the Dallas Cowboys when you won that Super Bowl 12?
Yeah, it's like a dream. We had the right personnel, we had the right coaches, we played the right teams, and we kicked people's ass. And don't get me wrong, we wore suits on the airplane, but we would kick your ass on the field. That 77-78 Cowboy team on both sides of the ball with Tony Dorsett, Roger Staubach, Randy White, Thomas Henderson, Too Tall, Harvey Martin, Cliff Harris, Charlie Waters, Benny Barnes, Mel Renfro. We were a beast. We were a very talented and good team.
Wow. Well, you know what? You guys got to hang around, because this last segment is going to be all about Hollywood Henderson. We're going to dive deep, 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 deep. Hollywood has come to the circus. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Do you have any questions about legal issues? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer and issued a ticket that you're scared to deal with? Have you ever been in trouble with the law and don't know what to do? Do you have a will or power of attorney question? Is your home being foreclosed upon and you don't know where to turn? Maybe you were given a contract that you don't understand. For freedom and a worry-free solution, call for Legal Shield today at 213-245-1305. It's that simple. You will have access to high-quality law firms that will fight for you for less than $1 a day. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's for Legal Shield. Call 213-245-1305 or visit us at nocourt.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some. Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea. The American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUSTCO.com, or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away. This is Sal Tozzolino, host and remaster of The Sports Circus. Why listen to the same old dog and pony show that you've heard all day long? The Sports Circus covers everything that other shows don't or are too scared to cover. There's no primetime show like it out here that'll punch you in the mouth and you'll beg for more. You can call in and participate with our chaos if you dare. Join me and celebrity guests for Havoc and Mayhem weekdays at 5 p.m. Pacific here on AMP TV, or stream the show live at thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus, so we prove it every day. So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
Welcome back to Sports Circus with Joe Cortez, International Boxing Hall of Fame referee.
welcome back to the Sports Circus. This segment is brought to you in part by the American Business Trust Company, helping companies with business strategy, sales and marketing, capital resources, and establishing companies with a physical location or on the internet. Visit them online at www.abtrustco.com, or you can call them at 657-600-1876 to learn more. That's American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. All right. Again, we want to thank everybody watching us, listening to us. Magic 97.9 in Las Vegas and all of our CBS, NBC, Fox Sports affiliates. Again, people, Hollywood has come to the circus. Mr. Hollywood Thomas, Hollywood Henderson himself, Super Bowl champion, first-round draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, we're going to dive deep. We're going to dive deep. So put on your scuba gear. We're going deep. Now, there's a slogan, a statement that I've learned. And we all, I believe, are put on this earth to help people, whether it's through our bad experiences or our good experiences. The statement that I've learned is the serum is made from the venom. So sometimes like a snake bite, they take the snake bite, the snake venom, and they turn it to serum. Even the flu, they give you injections of the flu. So it helps our bodies to develop antibodies to help heal us when we get sick. Now, with your life, Hollywood, you had some incidents in your life that you would probably say were venom, but you turned it into a serum that's helping people right now. For example, your drug addiction. Tell us about your drug addiction.
That's really good. I like that. After I went from the Cowboys to the 49ers, to the Oilers, to the Dolphins, of course, I ended up in Miami with a cocaine addiction. And my alcoholism started to ramp up because I was smoking my crack with 151 rum, which is a flammable alcohol. I didn't really like alcohol, but I lit my freebase crack pipes with it. So then I started to drink what was left of the 151 rum, and I'd be in blackouts, which means you're walking, talking, but you don't remember what you were doing. So this went on for about 18 months, and I was in Long Beach, California, and I was accused of sexual assault while smoking crack with a couple of girls. Now, I have no memory of the incident because I was, by this time, I'm a blackout crackhead, smoking crack 24/7. So what I mean by that is while I am awake, I'm smoking crack. And I went to a treatment center, and, now, no matter what you've heard, I have no recollection of doing, and I was a sex symbol. I have sisters and I've dated, I went to college and I was a Dallas Cowboy. And so there's no record of me being violent or whipping, none of that. So I don't, I know I was there, but I don't know how that was charged against me. But with that said, I'm guilty of so much more, denigrating this temple that God gave me with alcohol and drugs. I went to treatment, I went to jail, and I started my life over as a clean and sober man. I own my past, but I also own my future and I own my present.
Yes.
So I've been clean and sober now for 36 and a half years. I will make it to November. November 8th will be my 37th year without any drugs, any alcohol in my body. And so I regret some of the things that happened in my past. But because I was a blackout drinker at that time. I guess I'm lucky that, I didn't bury some bodies somewhere. I don't know. But my life has turned out well. I have two daughters. I have a 41-year-old daughter and a 26-year-old daughter. I have 7 grandchildren. I won the Texas lottery back in 2000. I won $28 million, but I took the cash option. So I only got 14. And then with that 39% tax rate, I ended up with 8.9, like $9 million cash.
Yeah.
And I'm living a good life. I didn't invest, I should have, I should have bought Apple. I should have bought Google. I was right there when they first $10 for Apple, but I didn't. What I've done is take care of my family, take care of my kids. I have a grandson, by the way, 6'4", 190, 17 years old, 4'5", wide receiver. He's my daughter's son. And so there's the Henderson name may not be on the jersey, but it'll be all over his DNA. I think he's going to play on Sunday. I think he's going to play on Sundays.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So my life today is I make films for drug rehabs and prisons, for DUI classes, and I sell films to prisons, rehabs all over the United States. I just made my most recent film is titled 36 Years. And so, I own my life, I own my past. Some things I do over, but for the most part, because I've landed in this spot of clean and sober, and I work with others. I got several NFL players that call me on a daily basis. I've got regular folks who call for my advice, and in my foundation in Austin, I have a football stadium and a track. And you want to hear a great story? I fasted for 7 days in a tent in the middle of the field in a neighborhood full of Crips and Bloods, and they protected me. And I raised $300,000 in 7 days. I didn't eat. I fasted. Wow. And so that's November 1999. So go to March 2000. This is after I did all my good deeds. I didn't do good deeds after the money. I did good deeds before the money.
Before, yes.
And so that November, I raised $300,000 to build a track and a football field. Lights, goalposts, the whole shebang. March 22nd, 4 months later, I hit the lottery on my mother's birthday.
Wow.
$28 million would turn into $9 million. That's crazy. But and so the Thomas Henderson story is that I messed up. I wish I hadn't ever drank a beer. I wish I had never had a cocktail or wine. I wish I'd never smoked a marijuana joint. But I did, and I did more, and I did too much. And I got into this, I wake up and going, who are you? Where am I? I mean, I took it to a whole nother level. For me to survive my own habits, I feel really blessed.
Yes.
I feel really favored by God that I get to have the life I have today. An old boy from East Austin, Texas, who went to Langston University and played in 3 Super Bowls and was a Pro Bowler and And, you know, I've had a fantastic life. And here I am, 67 years old, with all this wisdom. I'm wondering, where was this wisdom when I needed it? Sometimes.
Yeah, it was developing.
Yeah. So to play for Tom Landry is awesome. To win the Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying. Ain't nothing like that.
Yes.
You know, I lost my friend Richard Pryor to the same disease that I had. I lost Marvin Gaye. And you know, those are my good friends, but we were all stone cold drug addicts. And you know, we kind of were like-minded people. We got together. And I just miss my friends. As a matter of fact, Too Tall Jones called me this morning. We're still buddies. I hear Drew Pearson is probably going to get in the Hall of Fame this time.
Hall of Fame.
He's in the senior class. I just saw that this morning. So thank you, Tyrone, for spending a little time with old Thomas Hollywood Henderson down here in South Florida in my man cave, living this life that's unimaginable. I love my life. And anybody out there that's thinking about quitting using drugs and alcohol, please do. You know, find yourself an AA meeting, go to treatment, cut it out. It's just going to get worse. See, my bottom had a basement. I hit a bottom and went deeper.
Oh, man.
So don't let your bottom kill you. If you got a drinking or drug problem, even if you matter of fact, if you think you do, and if anybody ever told you do, you do.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. How can people follow you? Because I know you got some charities. How can they follow you on social media or your charities if they want to learn more or they get in trouble?
Yeah. Just simple Thomas Henderson on Facebook. I ain't hiding from nobody.
Hey, that's it. As simple as can be. Again, I believe the venom, we go through the venom so we can create serum for those. I do believe there's no temptation, trial, or test that's not common to man. But we want to thank Hollywood for coming to the circus today. We want to thank everybody for listening and watching. We'll see you again on another segment of the Sports Circus.
Thank you, brother.
So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.